Okay. So today the main agenda is how we can deploy ML models. But before to this, as per the Priyas, that how to go with the some basics. So for that, what I will do, I will give you the one simple data set. And I'll give you, I'll share that link of the data set. And what your tasks are that you need to identify that what kind of problem it is. So you will have the all use cases that what actually it is required from that data set, what exactly it is required. So what you have to do, you have to do the analysis. So analysis part, maybe I will explain it for the guys who are beginners. And you have to build the ML model the way I had build the model. You have to save and load the model. So I'll suggest you there is one website, you can go through that, but I'll share the specific data set that is called Kaggle. You have to just log in it with your Gmail. That's it. So if you'll go on this data set link here in this part, you can see there are a lot many. There are a lot many challenges are even going on. So competitions. So if you can see the competitions, so these are the competitions. So if you'll open, see the prize money, if you'll win this, so you can create a team and build something. So that will make you guys to win the prize money. So you can go with the competitions which are not right now. What I can say, not for the money, only for the learning. So what I can say, there is a monetary medals. So if suppose medals part, I will do that. So see now there are something which you can add it from here, or let me filter it and go somewhere below. You will get the, yeah, see these are the ongoing, but there are older also, recently completed community, or better you'll go with the data sets. And in that data sets, let's suppose you want it on the regression something, because till now we had learned only the regression. So for the housing price, so this one I have, you can see, uploaded 3 years ago, but that's fine. Well, let's see somewhere linear regression data set. Okay, this is 1 KB, very small. Someone adjusting. So you can, yeah, Boston. So this is, let's suppose this is the Boston price, house price. So you will see all the details are there, the context, what exactly the context are. This is the explanations for the each column, what that each column actually means. Output variable, you can see here, this is the target variable it means. So whatever the data set on which I had done, this is the same. And you can use this data set. Now you can even run the Jupyter notebook in that. So you have to click on this new notebook, and it will create a notebook for you. You can see here it will create now. Let it create first, it will take some time. So currently, if I will run this, it will, by this code, uh, it will tell whether you have a data here or not. You can see it will tell. Let's suppose in your system there is a no Jupyter, or you do not want to install, so you can directly go on a Kaggle. If Kaggle, you are able to open that, you can add your data here. See that it is saying that yes, there isn't data available, the Boston CSV. Now if you want to use that, simply pandas has already imported, so you can write df dot pd dot read underscore CSV, and just you have to put this path here. Okay, so it should run. Let me copy and paste this path here, df dot head. Let me check. See, it is able to. Now if you want to do, you can do the analysis, you can save. So whatever the output will come, that will be saved here. Okay, and input, you can say, if you want to add your data and you want to work on that, you can do that also. Okay, so this is how. And whatever you will save, or the comments, whatever, sorry, whatever you want to do, you can do. So these are the competitions. So, and if you want to save, you have to always go here and save version. So if you save that, it will be save, and it will evaluate also. whatever anyone had done till now, it will evaluate that whatever your work is there, your work performance is better or not. I'll create a one complete session on the Kaggle, that how you can take the data from the Kaggle, how you can save it, and check that what's your score and competitive score on that specific data. Because see, this Boston data set is not like that only I am using or you guys will use. There are a lot many people who had used and built the model or the analysis, they had done it on that data set. So now if you want to compete or the compare that what's the performance of your data set on those. So in that case, you have to save the version in there is in some specific manner, and it's provide the CPU and HT. You can see here the change runtimes and everything will. So here accelerator, it will provide here the GPU T4 2 GPU it will provide. So if you want to run the larger data sets on that, I'll tell that when you have to use. So these are the things you can use in that. You can save the notebook with your name, whatever you want. You can do there. Here, let's suppose housing price demo. Okay, so it will be saved by that name. Okay, in your notebook section. So if you'll go here somewhere, your codes, and somewhere it will show your work. If I will click, you see that these are the my work. So it will little so okay, so you can use that. Now, so Priya, is that clear, or is that what you wanted? So I will, what I'll do first, I will also explain that exactly for on the basic perspective. Okay, so don't worry. So I will tomorrow only we will arrange a class, and we will try to go with that the basics. So tomorrow you just guys, whoever the freshers and whoever, I mean freshers for this technology, just let me know in the group your any common time after 6 p.m., and I'll arrange and we'll start with the basics, so that you can ask your whatever the doubts are there, you can ask freely on that. Okay, so we will take end to end any basic data sets. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So this is so now let me give you the brief for whatever I have done it. We had done it in the last. So we had the data. Okay, we had the data, housing price data. What we had done, we splitted the data into train and test. Guys, whenever you will not able to follow me, just let me know. Okay, because I'm just trying to go this fast, because this is the recap for the last class. Train and test, and on this I trained the model. Trained model and saved in pickle format. Now pickle is a one kind of format. There are a lot many different formats are there. We will see it in some advanced version. So saved in pickle. Then what I have done, load the model. Load the model. Load the model, and then we will make the prediction on the test data. Prediction on test data. That what we had done it, and let me just show it quickly. Okay. Now, so if you guys, so this is just a visual code in which I had opened it. So if you can see here, this is just I'm importing the libraries. Okay. Okay. Now here I'm just loading the data, and this is the target name. I'm trying to see that this is the target name is mid house, and this is the descriptions of the data sets. So this all we covered. Here I'm creating the data frame. I mean, just converting that data into pandas data frame, which we needed this kind of format. And this is here I'm checking the shape of that. So what is the shape? So total 20,640 rows and the 8 columns. And there is in one target column. So 8 all are the X columns and Y is the target column. Okay, in that pipeline we said that first X and Y, and then you need to split in train and test. Okay, so here I'm just splitting into train and test. So train size will be 80% and test size will be 20%. So here I'm just, for the information, I'm checking the shape. Okay, X shape, X test shape, X train shape. So X train and X shape, X train and X test, both the shape should be same in terms of the column should not get decreased. See, in a train also 8 columns are there, in a test only the difference is the rows 80% and the 20%. Okay, and in Y train again we will have always a one column. So you can see that 16512, and there is an only one column. If you just want to see it here, if I'll just show you, see that only one column. You can see in the white test also only one column. Okay, now here I'm loading a linear regression model. Okay, so there are two ways. By the stats model also you can do, and there is an sklearn library. I will come on to the guys who are the fresher for this. So this is the way also you can load the linear regression model, and why I have used it here I will tell you. And here I'm just fitting means training the model on a X train and the Y train. So here the model got fitted. Now let me delete this. So here what I'm trying to do, now we have to predict. So let's suppose I'm using this X train and then I'm trying to predict that. So here they see that the model has predicted. So when I'm doing sorry, so I put all the X train and it gives me the Y train, right? So it gives us the Y train because we trained the model in such a manner. If you will just see this pipeline, yeah. If you will see this pipeline, see, like you just understand this is a box in which I have trained in such a manner that if I will write here A, you have to write 1. Sorry, you have to write 1. If I will put here B, you have to write 2. In this is some black box. I understand this. If I'll give here C input, you have to write here 3. So I have trained it in such a manner. So let us suppose tomorrow a data will come like B. So what it will give output? 2. So if in our X train there are four records and the let's suppose 3 columns in X train, and in Y train we have 4 records and 1 column because Y is only one regression, the price value. So the model has trained for this that if you'll give an input of the 3 value, it will give the one with the same. If you'll give 4 records, it will give output also 4 records. So to the model, if I will give this entire data as an input, what it will give? This one it will give as an output by the model version. Now I will compare this both, that what is the error between that. So how the error will get counted? If suppose you are using MSE is a mean squared error. Mean squared error is how much? So error is what? If suppose you have this data, house price actual data, your Y train like 10, 20 and 30, and model has predicted something like 8, 11 and 15. So first squared error. So first it will count the error. So error is 10 minus 8, 2, 20 minus 11, 9, 30 minus 15, 15. So this is the now why I'm making the square, because let us sometimes what will happen. Let's suppose here the value is let make this value here change a little bit. Let make this this. Let's make this value 15 here and this is 30. So check the error. 10 minus 8, 2, 20 minus 11, 9 and 15 minus 30 is minus 15. So now you have to make a square. So error first part we calculated. Now we have to calculate the square. Square means square of this. 2 2 is 4, 9 9 is 81, and 15 is I think 225. How much it is? 625. 225 probably. So that's why we are making a square, so that whenever you will do error count, so it should not be it should not go in a negative. And now we have this square. First we error, then a square, then we'll calculate the mean. So how the mean will get calculated? 4 plus 81 plus 225 divided by length. The length is how much? 3. So if you use this function in Python, it will automatically do these operations. So now you have actual data on which you have trained, and now you ask the model to do that on a train. So this one will give you the error. So let's see it here. So is there any confusion in this process? Tell me, guys. Okay. So here I'm just giving the model. So I told you that the data on which you had trained the model, getting the prediction from that is not a good practice. But just to show you guys, I'm just using here. And now I think I have imported above. What is this? See that mean squared error from the sklearn I have imported. So just I will use that here. So if you use this mean squared error function and then see what it is asking, you have to give the true value and the predicted value. So what is our true value? Y underscore train is the true value on which we had trained. See that this is a true value, and model has predicted. Let's store this model in predicted value in some variable. So y train predicted value. So I'm storing it here like this. Y train predicted value. So now this is the predicted value, and this is I am just passing it here. See, this is saying the mean square error is 0.52. Okay. So now I'm saying this is not the good practice. So we have to check this on the test data. So how to check on the test data? Similarly, in spite of giving a x train on which we have trained, I will pass the x test, and I'll give some other name. Just that this is the x test predicted, and then I will do mean squared error on the x test. That let's check. So x test is a, if I do x test, it will give y test. So I'll pass the actual value y test, and this is the test predicted value from the model. Okay, and now let's see the what's the error it is coming. So now you can see almost it is giving the same. On the train data it was 0.52, and on the test data also 0.51, means the model is performing almost the same way on the train data and the test data. So we can say that that model is not overfitted. So what overfitted and underfitted, we will understand. But sir, this is decent model, you can see. Okay, and this is the way we have to save the file. Just import the pickle. You give any name, whatever name you want, but extension should be pkl. Write the binary. Model file should be always in the binary, and you have to dump your model name, whatever the model name was. So the model name is here the lr underscore model, linear regression model, and whatever the file object you have. So it will saved here, you can see. And if you want to load that model, you can load it again in the read binary. And from the load, now there is a way you need to understand. There are two things we have to understand. So uh, one thing is called one thing is called batch prediction, and other is called online prediction. So what these two are, batch prediction and online prediction. Let us suppose you trained your model on a x train and a y train. So x train has, let's suppose, some records with, just understand here, the rows are the 10 rows and the 3 columns, and y train will be definitely one column because one price value, and this is definitely the 10 records will be same. You trained it. Now how model actually learns, the values goes row one by one. So the first value goes and it predicted the this first price value. Second value goes to the model and it predicted the third second price value. Third rows of the entire column from the extent goes and it predicted, and the same way the fourth. Okay, so now from your mod to your model, if you are giving a new data in a bunch, in a bulk, so that is called the batch prediction. In a batch means multiple records you are passing and you are asking model to predict in a batch. But what does it mean online? Online means the way model has trained, I will give the data in that. Let's suppose your data has a the first record. So because in a input, people will pass it like this. See, they'll pass like price of the square feet of the house is, let's suppose, 800 square feet. Something called area is posh. Parking is yes. Okay, and then after what I can say, in anything like whatever the values will. So the people will pass like that, and people would expect the output should give some price value, because for every record it has learned like that. So this is called online prediction. So how we will go with that? Let's understand. So here, what we were trying. Let's create one value. So what was the for yeah. Here we are passing the bulk in data in the multiple records, like a csv file. We will pass the to the entire model a csv file, and I will ask that for entire inputs give me the outputs for that. But here we are only passing one record. Yes, let's suppose, let me be more specific. So here uh, you have a something called a square feet or parking, BHK, like 1 BHK or 2 BHK, or let's suppose stories. Stories means this is first floor or second floor. And for that, we have the data. So now, what I will do, I will give this entire records to my model. Then it will give definitely some, let's suppose three records were there. So it will give the three price values. So this is called batch. In a batch, I gave the data and it predicted in a batch. But let us suppose if I give only this all, only this one, only one record. So this is a square feet again, this is parking again, this is BHK again, and this is stories again. So I want to give, because see, usually when you build an application and if the end user will use that, so they will give their requirement, no, one by one. Like I want an house of this much square feet that should have the parking, it should be 3 BHK, it should be like that. So they will give their specific one by one. Why they would give in a batch? So it is like this, and then at the end it should tell you the price of their specific house. So this is so this is called the online and this is called the batch. Now here so we need to understand to pass in the batch what is the column size, the 8. So I'm just taking any random value and creating one batch. So let's suppose this is all in the a value of any random value. I'm just taking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Since it's required 8 columns, so I'm passing here 8. Okay, now to the model I have to give this. Okay, let's let me see whether it will able to do that or not, or it is expecting a data frame. What is it? 2D array got 1D array. Let me reshape this, but I think I need to convert this into pandas probably. What linear features x1. Oh, okay, let me convert this to the data frame first. So the model we had trained in a format of data frame, it has, so the shape actually issues, nothing else. So let's see how it will look. So this is, but it's actually not like this. It should go like this somewhere. Yeah. See, this is the way model should. And what these are all? Let's suppose I'll put a columns here. Columns is equals to x test dot columns. So let's suppose someone has inputted these all values. So these are the required value for the model, like mid INC, house age, average room, average bedroom, population. So this is the value. So this is dummy value, just imaginary value I had taken 10, 20, 30. Now this one I'm just feeding into my model, which we had trained and saved and loaded it. And let's see what output it is giving. You can see what it has given. It is saying that the price is minus 72. So that's not actually relatable, but I just wanted to show that how it will become. So if you give the relevant value, it will give you the relevant price for that. But we do not want it into the array, so just we use here 0. That's it. Any question till here? No questions. Is it clear for everyone till here? Sorry. No, I'm not saying online training. I'm saying online prediction. So what I'm doing, I'm feeding this data. I'm feeding the user required data. Let's suppose I'll show. Let me show something to you guys. Here you will understand, and then I will explain this. Okay, let me explain. No, no, no. This is not online training. Let me show you one. something, and I'll explain this now that how we are deploying it. So let's open this. Okay, see that this is the UI. I'm saying house price prediction, and these all columns are required. So let's suppose I'll put this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. See why it is given negative was latitude and longitude. I'm giving 70, 80, every all this, and now let's and see it has predicted the house price prediction in minus 72. Okay, so this all whatever we had seen in the code, that all is working on the UI. Now let's understand that how we deployed. So this is the deployment of the same code in the UI using the Flask is a library in Python in local. So let's go through it one by one, that how it will work. Okay, and then please I'll request you guys to concentrate on that. So each and every part. So what I will do, I will let me remove it everything from here and put it in the notepad, and I will use it one by one so that for you guys will not get confused. Okay, so the first what I'm doing here, I'm simply importing the libraries which are required. Flask is just for the UI development, render template just to return the HTML file. So what those all I'll explain. NumPy we know to do the calculation or the array saving. Pandas for the data frame. This one is again not required. Pickle for the model saving and all. Okay, this is done. Till here I don't think any confusion. Now what is the next? We have to load our model which we have saved it. I don't think there will be any confusion till here now. We are just loading our model. You can see which we had saved it. Even we saw it today and the last class as well. We are reading the model and the model file name is loaded model. Okay. Till here it is clear. Now once we loaded the model, you can see here. Let me come to this part. What I'm trying to do it here. So here by this from Flask, I'm just creating a Flask object which is named as app. You can give any name. Okay. And what I am doing this, I am trying to create a route. Route means a path on which the URL will get open. So you can give anything like if suppose not home, okay, this one, and let me write it here. Hello with, okay, just this is our first class. Let's suppose I wrote this. That's it. So what it will do, I create this is called a function in a Python. We are creating this function. So for those people who are new, I'll explain them to all in a tomorrow class, definitely separately. So creating a function, and what this function is returning this string that hello world, this is our first class. So when I will run this code, what it will do, it will Flask will automatically route on this. If you'll go on this path on a local host on this, so it will automatically show you this. And how you have to just if underscore underscore name. So what exactly this one also I'll explain to you guys. Underscore underscore why we are doing it. It is just simple, nothing rocket science in that. Uh, app dot run. We have to do just and debug is equals to true. And let me see whether it is running or not. So I'm just opening the terminal. Opening the terminal here. So how to run a Python file from the terminal? You just search Python space file name. So file name is app.py. Let me see. It is running. Let me open this. So you can see it here. It has clearly written hello world. This is our first class. Are you able to see? Now, if I will, I don't think my URL is visible for you guys, but we can change the URL. If you want to change it here, let's suppose I will do home and save it. Now, if I will go again at that location, no, it will definitely here. How to reload this side? See, it is saying not found. Why it is saying not found? Because now the path location I have to put home. So I'll go to my location here. and write here slash home. Now see, now it has written. So you have to be clear like this, that how it works. So is there any confusion that how Flask this is trying to generate? So this is as simple as that. Now what I'm trying to do, in spite of returning this string, what should be our main requirement? So accordingly we need to create the UI. So I think Priya can relate. She has an experience in the web development. So what should be our, to the model what we were trying to give? We were trying to give the 8 features of the house. 8 features of the house. So we have to create a UI in such a manner that it will accept those all value on the UI. Okay, those all features for the house. And to look better, we will give some heading that it should have some getting that this is the house price prediction application. And whenever someone click the submit button on this UI, this URL should go on, or the UI should go on another page where it should show the price of that, like whatever it is in a rupees or the in a dollar, whatever it is, it should show the price. That's it. So I do not have an idea of HTMLs and all those. So I have created the HTML file by using ChatGPT. Okay, so you can create. So how the folder structure should be in Python, we must have to understand. So let us suppose we have this directory. You have to create one directory. Okay, you have to create. This is very important. Understand your project directory. Let's suppose you had given a name, my project. So in that, 3 4 files are required. The first in that a folder is one folder you have to create, that is called, when I'm creating a box, that means understand this is a folder, and this name is fixed. Templates you must have to write. There's a no changes you can do. Templates you have to write. Okay, then after, one is your Jupyter file where you'll do all your analysis, or the if you have any error or something to, so this is not mandatory, but you need this, your Jupyter file. So Jupyter file, I'm just giving a name, demo, and its extension is always ipynb. This is your Jupyter file. So demo I'm writing. So if you want, you can. Then the third is your app.py. App.py, where you will write your Flask code to deploy. Okay, to create a UI. And the third is your requirements.txt. So this is folder, and these three all are file. This is folder, these all three are files. Okay, these are demo, your Jupyter file for your analysis or saving the models, app.py where you will write your Flask code, requirements.txt. Now requirements.txt is a file in which you will write your libraries name which you are using for your model deployment. So whatever the libraries are there here in your app.py, this all you are using, this Flask, NumPy, Pickle, and the pandas. So while deployment, you need to write this in the requirement.txt. So you have to write your, so write here your pandas. I'll tell that how exactly to write NumPy, your Pickle, and the Flask. And you must have to give the version name of that. How to get that, on which version it is running, I'll show that also. Okay. So like this in the requirement app.py, which we will discuss more. This one we had already discussed. Now come to the templates. This templates consist of contain multiple files it can contain. So it has all this your UI files. UI files is HTML. So right now we need two screen. On one screen where the user should give the input, and the other screen it should give the price prediction. The two. So I will you can create any names by that here. That name is not important. So let's suppose I'm giving the name home.html. One is the HTML file, and the other is your let's suppose result file or the prediction file, whatever. So result.html. So this templates has this two files, this Jupyter file, app.py, and the requirement.txt. And there is one Docker file also when it is required. But this is near. Let me show you the now directory to you guys. If you will see it here, this MLOps class is my folder name, And don't see this IPMIB checkpoints it created when you run the Jupyter file. And see here the template. In that template, there are two files, index and the result. Index is your home page where I saw that the specific value when you are inputting it. You can HTML page you can directly open also. That is not. And this is the app.py, which I said it exactly. This is the Docker file. I'll tell you that how to use that. And here this your model saved. Okay. And this is your Jupyter file. So these are actually those videos. The classes of that video, so this is not required. In that folder only I'm creating, but you just have to ignore these two. Okay, these are the videos. I'll delete that. Let me delete it. It is unnecessarily occupying the space. See that. Only this file. So now is there any confusion in this folder? The structure, that how it should look like? No confusion. Let's see the requirement file. So you see that here I had given all this file name, that what are the version. So how to get the version in a Python? Let me stop this, come to the app.py. uh, Let me this comment this all. So you can simply write here print pd dot underscore underscore version, but it will not support for some of the files, for some of the library, like for the pickle. For pickle you have to write pickle dot format underscore version. Okay, so here I'll just for understanding I will write here, this is a string, this is just to it also pandas version, and here I will write, guys let me know if you have any confusion. Okay, pickle version, the simple. So I'm just trying to show you that how to check the version of the libraries which you have used. And simply let me clear this. So how to run, this is your file app.py. So I will write here python space app.py. See that it has still your Python version, the pickle version. Pickle version is 4.0 and the Python pandas version is 2.0.3. And the same I have written. The same way you can check for the Flask and the NumPy. So I just show it for the two. You can check. So by either from these two ways you can check the versions. Okay, either that library name dot underscore underscore version underscore underscore. If it is not following that, dot format underscore versions. Okay, version. So it will tell you. So this is how we check. So I think we are at least clear what Docker file is. Apart from that Docker file, we are clear with everything. Now, so when so I am creating a root, first creating the app object root, and now in spite of returning the string, now what I will do, I will return the my home page. So render template. What was the name of that in template? My is index. So I will do. It is I think index.html, and let it run and see that what output it is giving. So it is running here. Let me open it. See that it is coming. But now if I will put any value here, let's suppose, see it is saying that because when we do submit, it doesn't know now where to go and what exit. So it doesn't have anything. So now we have that index.html. Now we have to create a next page which is called the prediction whenever we do the submit. So whenever we do the submit, means in an index we got all the data for the model it is required. So from the model I will do the prediction and put all that output value into the result. So that what this function is doing. Simply you can see it here. So don't get any confused, and I'll tell you. See that first here what I'm doing, app.root, I'm creating a new that it should go on the predict. Now the next, this is the home page, it should go on the predict. And there are two method, get and post. When you are giving something, that will be the method of the get, and if it is taking output, so I'm putting both here. So I'm saying that when that request method, so if you can see here I have imported the request also. So request dot method, whenever it will be the post method. So that is the fix in a ML site, whenever you have to give input like that. And now I'm saying whenever the mid inc, you can see the why I'm saying the mid inc, because on my URL I have given the name of the column is mid inc. That these are the inputs I'm taking from the user. See, these all are the input I'm taking from. So whoever knows, like Priya might be, she knows the Java. So in Java Priya there is something called try catch. So in that the Python there is something called try except. And all the concepts are same. Only it is try except. So what try except? Why I have written the code in try except? So you can just understand. First, I'm taking this input from the users, whatever on a UI, this on the index HTML users had given the input. So from that form, I'm taking those all input and here saving in one variable. And these all now I'm storing into a list. You can see, if you will see this here, how I have done it. This is, I'm taking the input, this input, and then creating a data frame. See that here. That all values I'm creating a data frame and these column names. Okay, and then from the loaded model which I loaded here, I have the saved model. For that I'm asking to predict whatever the data frame is, that is the input value I have given the name. You can give any name. And why I'm doing 0 here, because if you will not do it will predict it something like this in an array. So I because there will be only one value, so that's why I'm doing simply. So that's some predicts. And I'm saying if user will not give these all values, in that case what it will do. So in that case, it will return an error that please check input values. It will tell you. Okay, that's how. And if user will give all those things, there will be no any error, or there is a no error in the model predictions, anything, then it will return this HTML page. And in that HTML page, when you have to give an input, there is a parameters called prediction. In that, whatever the predicted value of that model, that you have to pass it here. It will automatically go. If I'll show it, you can see here, you can see this prediction. Whenever you have to take now that prediction parameters, I'm giving it here to the HTML file, and that HTML file is taking this prediction here. Whenever you have to give some input as a placeholder, you have to do the double curly braces to both side. Okay, this is so this is the way we have created some headings like house price prediction result, title you have to give. Okay, nothing else. This one I have generated it from the chat GPT. I also do not know. I just gave my requirement and it has created that HTML. And now what these all are. So I don't know. This one actually I was getting some favicon error because of some internal thing, or I don't know to handle that. Again, this one I asked the GPT, because this one I haven't used earlier. I don't know why it was started giving some favicon error. So to handle that favicon error, it has suggested to use that. Okay, and here I'm just using this, nothing. Now I'm calling the file here app.run. That's it. Now if I'll open the terminal from the VS Code. You can use your normal terminal also. There will be no any issue. Now python python space app.py, your file name. Let's run this. And now it is running here. Open that. See that it has created, and you can give any now some let me give some relatable value. 20. House age is 5 years. Average rooms is 2. Bedroom is average rooms is, let's suppose, give 4. Bedrooms are 2. Population, I do not remember. Let's suppose 6. Average occupancy 3. Latitude, let's suppose 134.78, something I had given, and 256.74. Let's suppose given. So it is something saying in negative. That model is not performing well. That is another. So it is going there. So this is the title, headline, and this is the again the H2 small title, the predicted house prices. So it is working like this. So now tell me, this is the entire setup that how you can deploy. Is there any confusion in this? Any confusion that while we were deploying that the steps, some steps you guys didn't understood? Anything? I'll share it. I'll upload this. I'll create it for the deployment and share. Understood. Yeah, yeah. You can go through the videos also, and I'll share this code to the GitHub also. There won't be any, and probably if you would understand the structure that how we are taking, you can now understood or build any use case, and accordingly you can make a customly changed in your test. Now let us suppose someone said that no, we want some more beautiful UI or something like that. So accordingly you can CSS, HTML, and all those things you can add. So that's a UI part the people can do. But this is how you can demonstrate that your model has deployed on the locally. This is called that your model has deployed locally. Yes, yes. These are why I'm saying. But once we got it, then after we are giving the output. That's why it is taking the post method here. Okay, that is the why we are using here post method. Usually, if you'll do, you have to write here post. Okay, okay. Now, okay. Sure. So now the first is we created ML model and saved locally. And the second step, what we have done, uh, uh, deployed locally, deployed locally using Flask. Okay, these two. Now the third is, so you can anyone tell me, is there will be any issues with this application? Is there any issue with application? So is it, how many of you are so sure that if I will give this entire folder or file, it will able to run in your system as well? Do you guys can think that any problem can happen when you will run this file? Anything if you can think of, any whatever right now, just I want to know that if I'll give this entire. Correct. So whatever the, it can happen, no, like let's suppose I'm using the Flask. Let's suppose version is 3.5 and NumPy I'm using the version 1.2. So maybe in your system 1.5 zero point 0.3 version of NumPy is there, and Flask is 3.5, and these both are not compatible. At that point of time it will throw error that your libraries are, sometimes the libraries are not there, and when you install it, by default it will install the latest one. So it will. Yes, yes, yes. That's, but we haven't used, no, we haven't used this requirement.txt yet, did we? We haven't used anywhere. So now, but there will be again issue if you use I was coming on that. If you use that requirement.txt, let's suppose I had given the all library and their version. So I had given only three libraries which are depending on that application. But when you are installing that, at that point of time, it was getting conflict with your existing libraries. That can be also possible that these are not going to install, or it will throw the error, or it might install the different versions. Probably it will throw the error because whatever the versions of this file, it will not. So for that there is an one solution. What we can do? You can create the virtual environment. What is virtual environment again? I will tell. You can create the virtual environment using Python or using Conda as well. So in virtual environment, what it will exactly happen in your system, in local system, it will create a new memory in which you can specifically install your Python version. Let's suppose you have in your system, your Python version is 3.9, but this application is running on the Python 3.7. So you will create the virtual environment of Python version 3.7, and in that you will install this all requirement.txt library. Getting my point? So, and then in that environment, you will activate this environment You will activate this environment, and on this environment now you will run that application. So this is how the entire process. Now every time if you have to run the application, you have to create the environment. Hmm. So how much memory you have in locally? That is again computation. No, that's not temporary. It will be permanent. If you have created that environment, it will be permanent. If I'll show my Jupyter, if you want, you can definitely. So that's again a complicated process. You are creating it, you are deleting it. So that's all are the complicated. Removing it, the virtual environment. So for these complications and these conflicts, to solve this, the concepts of Docker came in a scenario. So this solved actually very well. So we will understand the two concepts here, Docker and then after that Kubernetes. Okay, it is, but it will work on that Linux, but we will use that. I'll come on that. Now let us suppose what Docker is. Let me explain first that what is Docker and why we need. So what actually that Docker do, it will create a virtual container on your requirement.txt file and your application can run on that. Okay. Now this we can push into the Docker Hub. Docker Hub is like in GitHub. There is all max. There are lot many images are there. So if you created your images, you can push to the Docker Hub. You can push your image to the Docker Hub, and then anyone in this country or in this world want to use that image, they can pull your image. They can pull your image in their system, and on that same container they can run that application whatever you had shared. They do not have to now worry about the versions and anything, nothing. No Python version, no library version, nothing. Just you have to create your container, you have to run, and then after you have to use the same, and you have to run that. So now if I will today create it in front of you in a Docker Hub, and when you guys will pull that image in your system and you can run that application, you do not have to install anything, nothing, and it will started running. Only the thing is in your system Docker should get installed. So I'll share some URL. That first URL is how to this Docker installation. Yes, this is the how to install the Docker in the Windows. If you have a Linux, so installation is different. You have to install it. You can just follow this and it will install. Once it will install, it will show here. You have to just log in. The first time if you are doing, you have to do the sign up. You can see here this one, it will show here this all. So all the images when you created, so I had created it but I deleted it for you guys to show you the fresh, and these are the containers, whatever the containers will be there. So here nothing will be there. Okay, so we will see it from the beginning. So why we use the Docker? Just to containerize our applications dependency in the requirement, and on the top of that containers we can run that. Okay, this is how the Docker is and why we need the Docker. And we will see in a later stage that how this Docker image we can use in the cloud. Okay, in a GCP, how we can use the same Docker image to run our application, to deploy that on a cloud. So that will be the last stage. Okay, so now here, so is there any confusion in that why we need a Docker? Any confusion you guys can ask? Okay, now let's open. So once you actually install the Docker, uh, if you'll go in your CMD terminal, it will, and if you will write here Docker, it will work like this. See that it will means Docker has installed, and you'll go in your application. In your application here, you can see here Docker has it is not running right now. Okay, so if you want to run the Docker, you can just click it here. Now it started, Docker engine started running. See that it is coming here to pause engine running. It is coming. Okay, now go to terminal. Now if is there any image in your Docker. So for that, Docker images, if you'll do, see that it is saying, it is all this column name, I mean just there is no images. Now let's come to the this file. Yeah, so if you want any image, like let's suppose I want the image for the Python. You just in a go to the Docker hub and search. See, there is a for the Python images. Now if you want to run Ubuntu commands, let's suppose you have a Windows system but you want to run Ubuntu, you don't know this Python commands. So there are a lot many people who are more comfortable with the Ubuntu terminals, so how they can use it in system. So for that, Ubuntu has created their image in that. See this is the Ubuntu image. And how to pull that image? You have to just write Docker pull Ubuntu. Here if you do, it will copy that. And tags means their versions, so different versions are the latest version. So you can see here the file size, all this is okay. Tags, this is the tags is currently is the latest. So if you do this, by default it will take the latest one, this one. So let's see now. Here I'm just what I'm doing, uh, uh, pulling this image. Okay, so now I'm doing Docker pull. Okay, see this. Here it is saying by default tag is latest. See this. Okay, now here it has done. Now I will check Docker images. See that. Now Ubuntu images in your system. Now if you want to delete, I'll come on the delete or something. Now if you want to run that image, how to run? So Docker run and that name image name. So Ubuntu Ubuntu. What it is saying? Okay, 1 second. So I have to write Docker run Ubuntu. So I have to run in interactive mode. No, so IT means interactive mode and Ubuntu Ubuntu. Yeah. See now you can see here. If you guys have ever used or saw that Ubuntu, it looks like this. Now whatever you want to do, ls command, if you do whatever you want to do, I think pwd is also there. Yeah, pwd is the it will the current working directory. So like that it works. So whatever you want to do, you can do. Here you can create all this Ubuntu. Now it is running it here. And now if I will show this, you can see here this image in that it is showing in your application. That one image is there, it is a status in use. Now if you'll go, it has created the container. Actually this one is running, this one was the older one which I had done it. If I'll go on here now, you can see whatever the command you will do, all everything will be logged here, and you can run it from here as well. I'll go to the inspects, not inspects, find mode. This files, if you created the all files, all will be in the Linux environment like that. This is the stats. Okay, so everything you will see it here. You can stop manually from the here. You can delete the containers from here. Okay, so it will might be take time. So these all are the how you can the status, that how much it is using or something like that. Okay, nothing. You can exit it from here as well, whatever you want. Okay, ls, make directory, mkdir, remove directory, rmdir, whatever Linux command you want to utilize for your system, you can do that. Okay, so this is the beauty. Now you just imagine in the 77 MB or the 70 MB, we can able to run the Ubuntu in our system. See this in 77 MB. Nothing, no installation, nothing. So how lightweight it is, how easy you can perform your thing. So this is how. Now if you you must have to log in your, so I have already logged in, so it will not ask the credentials. So you can ask Docker, you can run the Docker login. Okay, sorry, actually I'm inside that this Ubuntu now. So this will, so I'm just here doing Docker login. So it will authenticate and it will, but for you guys, if you do first time, it will ask your username and password whenever you install the Docker on the Docker hub. If you'll go on the web application on a website on Docker hub, it will tell you to log in with your credentials. So that credential, username and password, you have to push it here. So this is how. Now let's suppose and there is a command. If you want to check which is running, so you can see it will say this is the container ID. We saw that, and it is running that created 2 minutes ago, and up for the 2 minutes, up 2 minutes. like from the last 2 minutes it is. So you can get that thing. Now if you want to remove that, so docker rmi is remove, and if you want to remove it, you can just ubuntu I'm writing, let's see. So it is saying error response because it is running. So there is something called forcefully if you have to. So if, and then this actually this container id or the image id, you have to know such. One second. This one. So I have to rmi and I have to use this image id just to remove that, to delete that. Unable to, cannot. Okay, one second. Let me, it should stop. Okay, maybe sometime if it will, we can go it directly here. First we need to stop this. Okay, the container you can stop. Might be, it will take time. No containers are running. So if I will do docker ps, no containers are running, then we will do RFI. So probably, yeah, it is saying deleted. Now if I will check the docker images, now there is a no docker image. So it's actually 11:48. So tomorrow we will see that how we can create the docker file for our application in this here, this all, and how we can use this, how we can use this for, and I will run the application on that, and how the Kubernetes is dependent on that. So Kubernetes part little bit I'll take at the end, but I'll give a brief that why we needed the Kubernetes. Once we go to the cloud, there we will see more. So we will, for the our application now, it will be take more 10 to 15 minutes. So it's already 11:50. We had completed 1 hour. So we'll see it that how we can run that. So till there, any questions, any confusion, guys? And I will upload this into the GitHub and I'll share the link videos and this folders, entire code. Slash, what is that? See, I want to deploy that UI also, no? So that's why we need Flask. That when you run it on the Docker container, your entire application should run. Okay, that yeah, that is. So any if no questions, we can